Hey guys, welcome back to Iconoclast Brewing. Today we'll be looking at this. This is the Boel iTap X, and it's a counter-pressure bottle filler. What this is designed to do is to allow you to fill your bottles straight off of your kegs. You can just force carbonate in a keg and then bottle whenever you want to. This is great for competitions or just filling bottles to take with you wherever you go. So I do have to mention Boel sent me this free of charge in exchange for a review. But as always, I'm going to be as thorough and unbiased as I possibly can. If I wouldn't buy this, I will tell you that. So let's start by taking a look at all the pieces and then put it together. Okay, so we have a few different pieces here, and we'll start with the main piece of the unit, which looks like this. This is where you actually have a handle, and you can control CO2 and control beer flow. And we'll talk about all this stuff in just a moment, but this is actually where the shank will go. This is where you're going to put your gas hookup, and this is actually a drain line, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I think that's a really cool feature that sets it apart from other options. These two nuts here will actually go with the shank. One of them is to secure the shank to whatever you're going to mount to, and the other one fits over this piece of the shank right here, and it'll actually attach like this. Next, you have a nipple for your beer line and a little washer that goes with it. And this piece will secure the nipple like this to the end of the shank. We'll put this together in just a moment so you can see it. Now, one of the things that makes the iTap X unique is this piece right here. So this is the piece of the device that will actually lock bottles in place, which is definitely different from any other solution I've seen. And finally, you have a couple nipples. And one of these is for a drain line, and one of them is for your beer line. Okay, so let's do a dry run. Just put this together, see what it looks like. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is grab these two pieces of the shank. I'm talking about these two right here. And you're just going to want to put this one through here, like this, and go ahead and grab the other piece of the shank. I'm talking about this piece here. Push this down until it fits in, and then tighten it up. This nut should be nice and tight now. Now this piece is going to actually lock the shank in place wherever you're mounting it. You probably recognize this if you've made your own keyser before, or if you had taps, which I assume you do if you're buying this counter-pressure filler. So you just want to take this nut and screw it onto the shank. All right, for this next part, you're going to need one of the red washers and the beer nipple. These two pieces here. You want to place this around the bottom, not the top. Goes around right there. Then you can drop this right in place, like that. Looks good. And this piece just screws on the end of the shank. There you go, your shank's all set. So now go ahead and grab the rest of the assembly, the main piece. And we're just gonna connect these now. So this is pretty simple. There's already a red washer inside here. Make sure there is for you. Mine was already in there. And just screw the shank on. There we go, looking good. Now the final piece here I didn't talk about is one of these can be flipped around to accommodate different bottle sizes. Really, we're talking about the neck. Some bottles are slightly different, and this piece will allow you to use a wider variety of them. Okay, so last, we just have a clamp lock body, is what they call it. So let's put that on. All right, so this is the clamp lock body right here. And mine is made for glass bottles, but you can also get clamp lock bodies for other types of bottles like PET or plastic bottles. So you're just gonna take this piece, line up the red tabs, and push it on. And it should be able to spin. Since that's how it locks. You can see how it moves up and down. And then finally, the nipples are gonna go in these holes here. So the nipple that goes behind the red button is for CO2 hookup, and the other inlet is for your drainage nipple. Nice, that looks pretty good. So let's get this mounted and test it out. Now, because of the length of this portion of the shank here, you might be limited in your ability to attach this to your current keyser collar. So your options are generally going to be find another place to mount it or use a spade bit or something like that to drill out a countersink, just enough so you can fit that nut in there. Because I have a commercial kegerator and have 4 taps in each of the towers, I really didn't have any room to mount this on it. However, you could always cut this to fit. So you could cut the end of the shank to make it fit a tower. So I opted to attach it to my bar, which you can see right here. Okay, so I've got my ball lock disconnect on one side of this tubing, and I have the barb that's going to the back of the shank on the other side here. Now we're just going to take this shank, I'm going to push it through the hole. Going to take this nut, screw it on, and finally we're going to take our barb here, make sure that washer is on the back, push it on, we're going to screw that into the back of the shank. What adding a disconnect to this line does is it allows us to tap into a keg directly. If you have Intertap or NukaTap faucets, you could get the ball lock adapter as well, just hook up to that so you don't even have to go into your keezer. Now, the other thing I've done here is taken the nipple that goes to the gas line, attached it to this gas line with a disconnect. Now you're probably wondering, how is that going to connect to gas? Well, I actually have these jumpers, and they connect right into a disconnect like this. So what you end up being able to do is couple two disconnects together. They call them jumpers, and I'll have a link to these in the description if you want to pick one up. So the idea is I'm going to attach one of these jumpers here whenever I need to use this and attach it to my auxiliary gas disconnect that is attached to one of my secondary regulators. And these jumpers are also amazing for cleaning your lines, so you can daisy chain all your taps together. So we're just going to connect this gas nipple here. Done. Nice and easy. And now we're going to connect our drain. Now the last thing here is I actually went out and I got a little bucket. It's a 2.5 gallon bucket, which I think is perfect for my drainage tube. So we're going to put this underneath. Okay, so we're ready to try this thing out. Let's do it. So we're going to go ahead and take a bottle. First thing you want to do is lock it in place. Like this, and then twist. So our gas is already on. All we really need to do now is to purge. So let's go ahead and purge. So as long as this handle is up, beer will not flow when I open this knob. If this were down, beer would be flowing. We don't want that yet. We want to purge this bottle with CO2 first. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to press this button. Sounds good. You really don't need much CO2. That was probably even too much. But that's all right. Okay, now we're going to close this and we're going to pressurize it. So we're going to press it again after closing that knob. Okay, it is now pressurized. I have about the same pressure in the bottle as well as the keg, which means we're not going to get much foam and we're going to get nice flow of beer. So let's go ahead and put this down. You ready? Here we go. So putting that down, now we're going to open this up slightly and you're going to start to see it filling. There it comes. All right, we got beer flowing. And there's really no foam there. This is wonderful. There's probably even a little too much, but that's okay. Look at that, no foam. So now we're going to turn off the beer. So we're going to release this, and that's going to allow this bottle to come back to atmospheric pressure, which is very important. If you don't do that, you're going to get a bomb when you open this thing. You're going to get spraying foam everywhere. You do not want that. So let's go ahead and do this. And let's see if we get any waste down the tube. I'm getting no foam coming up. I'm seeing bubbles in the bottle. That's about it. So let's go ahead and open this. Wow, check that out. So just a really nice fill. And there are tons of bubbles coming up from the bottom. So this is very carbonated. This is effervescent, I would call it. There's a good deal of CO2 in this beer. All right, so the last step is to cap it. So here we go. There you have it. A nice, beautiful bottle of beer. Very nicely filled. And super carbonated. Fantastic. All right, so we got a nice fresh bottle of beer. That process was way easier than anything else I've ever used. But now we have to clean the system. So how would you do that? Let's go check it out. All right, so I kind of figured this out on my own, but I did use the instructions, which say after using, you really just need to flush it with water at the end of the day. So what I do is I take a keg like this, one of my Torpedo kegs, I'm watering it, pressurize it a bit, and just flush it right through the lines. that's pretty much it. So let's go do that. So we got gas hooked up, so this keg is pressurized. Now we're just gonna take the liquid disconnect here, and we're gonna hook that right up to the keg. And this is the liquid disconnect that goes to the bowl. All right, so this part gets a little messy, and that's fine. That's why I have a bucket down here. And by the way, the amount of liquid I got in this thing, non-existent. There's no liquid in this bucket whatsoever. This is the drainage bucket. So that should tell you how much loss I actually had, which I believe was none, which is wild. Okay, so we're gonna hold this bucket under the bowl. We're going to turn on the tap. So you can see we get a lot of liquid coming out. That's great. That's the water from the keg. And I'm not too concerned about the drainage line. I'm gonna let that just be. Didn't really get anything in it anyways. If I had beer in there, I might hook up a bottle. There, all done. I might hook up a bottle and let it run through, but I don't think I need to today. So last, you really just wanna disconnect your drainage tubing and your CO2 tube, hang them up to dry, and then you can just unscrew the shank from the front and pull off your Boel iTapX. And then I like to just open up all the connections here, kind of let everything get out. If you were so inclined, you could run Star Sand through this. I don't think I need to today. I'll probably run Star Sand through it before I use it though. So just grab a keg with some Star Sand, run it through, and start bottling. So you just saw me get virtually no foam at all. This beer has been carved for a long time. It's very effervescent, very bubbly. There should have been foam, but there was none. I actually bottle a lot using just a growler filler and have some success, but they don't tend to last more than 2 to 4 months. I've also used a NukaTap filler, which is highly convenient. It slides into your tap faucet, but the problem with the NukaTap, while it's compact, any overflow is actually gonna push right through that filler, and it's very hard to clean. With the Boel, you have a drainage tube, so you don't have to worry about that. It's very easy to clean. You can just run some water through this at the end of the day. So guys, without a doubt, this is the easiest, most convenient counterpressure bottle filler I've ever used. I've used all kinds of fillers from growler tubes just stuck on a faucet, to a beer gun, to a NukaTap filler, and now this, the Boel iTapX. I have to say, I'm kind of blown away by the iTapX. I didn't think I would be. I thought this would just be another counterpressure filling device. The hands-free function is really convenient. The ease of cleaning is amazing. And I've never had a counterpressure filler that I didn't have to battle some type of foaming or sit there and babysit it and just kind of tap that button every now and then to off gas. Are there better bottle fillers? Yes, absolutely, but they're certainly not this cheap. This probably ran around $100 to $120. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed making it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my weekly content. I'll see you in the next one, and never stop learning.